Hello again and welcome back to another entry in the Toy Unboxing Advent Calendar. And today's is all about fatalistic Transformers. And starting with Legacy Dead End. That's right, it's the fourth of the Stunticon releases in the line. And yet another member of the Menasor limb set here. He is a rework of the... he is a very heavy rework of the drag strip mold that came in the first wave. And very heavy here. If we look, I mean, like, he is absolutely not a race car here. He is very much not a race car. And, yeah, transforms into a very different robot mode as well, too. Like, they very much used a retool budget on this thing pretty well. And really, I mean, the reason that he is fairly similar from an engineering standpoint is also out of necessity because of the way the Menasor combination works. Yeah, you can see here the box art again. Gorgeous box art on this guy. Again, Hasbro just nails it with this stuff, and they really need to give us an art book when this line is done, just to show off all of the gorgeous stuff that they've been hiring artists to do. So, let's pull Dead End out of the box and finish freeing him. Not that it's going to matter anyway, because, you know, like, in the end, he's just going to end up in a landfill somewhere because that's the fate of all toy playthings. I mean, let's be a bit fatalistic here. Let's just play this up. I mean, really, what's the point of cutting these scissors anyway? I mean, yeah, these elastics are all going to end up in the garbage. Yeah, it's just a huge waste. Yeah, we've got a little baggie of parts here. This will be his guns. I'll put that off over there. And then I'll keep pulling this out because what's the point of even cutting anyway when I can just pull him out here? I mean, really, why even bother with cutting? I mean, it's just a waste of time in the long run. Especially when we can pull him out without cutting all of those other elastic bands. So, anyway, yeah, we got this here. We got a couple of guns. They are just two of the same gun. Nothing really to write home about here. It's just two rifles. Yeah. You can see that there, just two rifles. And we have Dead End here in his robot mode. Let's take a closer look at this guy, shall we? So, I mean, first thing that jumps out is the feet. Like, I mean, they are pretty tiny feet. He very much is the opposite of Piggy Hill feet. Yeah, just dainty little feet. I mean, that's just kind of a, you know, a side of just like the mold he's retooled from. Range of motion here in the legs is very good, as you can see. We got the swivel there. We got the universal joint hip. We've got about 90-degree range of motion. And yeah, you can see, like, the leg feet, they are very stumpy, but it is a very good range of motion. Yeah, here he is from the side there. And again, we have universal joints up here. That's pretty good. And we have, yeah, bicep swivel, about 90 degrees range of motion. And he does not have wrist articulation. With deluxes, the wrists can be hit or miss, but yeah. And as for the head, let's take a look at this gorgeous head sculpt, because yeah, this is a very well done Dead End head sculpt here. I mean, yeah, it looks fantastic. Just looking at just the purple visor and just the orange standing out. I mean, yeah, his head just stands out like a sore thumb, and it's always nice when you get Transformers heads that do that. So let's see, putting his guns into his hands. Again, it's the fairly standard 5mm ports. Yeah. Yeah, he really only has like a swivel here in the head. It might be a ball joint. If it does, it doesn't have the range of motion to look up or down or anything. Oh, and speaking of looking, he does have a waist joint here too. That makes sense considering how this guy is going to combine into the Menasor mode. But anyway, let's put him into his vehicle mode because that's going to be a prerequisite to combine anyway. And we can already see that, wow, yeah, the back of the car just folds itself up very quickly and very nicely. Like, yeah, it's just... I'm just looking at this and going, I hope these ankles lock in place when they fold up because, yeah, that is it. That is the back of the car right there. Like, we've already finished half this figure. And this part is not pegging in as well as I wish it would. Like, there doesn't seem to be an actual peg for the ankles, which kind of sucks. Yeah. So I guess they just sit there then. Alrighty then. But Actually, I think we need to reopen this here, yeah, because I spoke too soon, because obviously we need to be able to retract these legs. So, that might make this guy a little bit more efficient. Open up the feet here, and then we are going to fold these up. Yeah, this one got turned around. And you can see here already we've got him halfway there. There we go. Yeah, arms are going to unpeg from the sides here. And they are going to shift up. And, well, that popped off. Okay. Again, I never mind when that sort of thing happens on a toy, because those are generally the parts that are supposed to, because you're putting force in the wrong spot. But, let's see. Pop off the guns. Yeah, pop off the guns there. Fold the hands up. And, okay, there's some stuff that goes here. I'm just trying to sort out. I think there's some joints in the chest area. You would think that I would just be able to just do this old hat, but yeah, I guess not. So, let's see here. Don't mind me, I'm just sorting this out. Okay, these flip around 180 degrees. Once we get this guy into Minotaur mode, it'll go really fast because, again, like, he is just a drag strip rework, and the combination is deceptively simple, for a Decepticon. So, yeah, there's the front there, basically, and now we just need to get these up and over. And for that, it looks like there's some parts that should unpeg here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I need to unpeg the legs again. Again, this is what happens when you're speaking too soon. Like, drag strip definitely feels slightly more intuitive than this guy did. Than this guy. Drag strip is probably still like my favorite of the deluxe Stunticons there, because he is just a really simple toy. And simple is good. Like, it's a very quick, very intuitive transformation. And let's see, I'm just trying to figure out the trick I need to work out here is how this all locks in, because yeah, this clearly needs to pop out, and I must have folded this up too soon. Because yeah, I can see the joints here. I can see that there's a piece here that... there we go. Okay. So now that that's folded down, we should be able to fold some stuff up and out of the way. Like, you can see here that this head is on this entire headpiece is on a joint, so it can store back here. There, that gets the head out of the way. And now we can actually do stuff with the arms that makes sense. So, okay. This is... Yeah. I got a handle on this now. And again, this is the fun of doing these spontaneously on the unboxing, because you can see just how much that, somebody who's been transforming these things for years and years still, like, just generally fumbles at doing this stuff. If anything, it's the anti-elitist move, because it just shows that, oh yeah, no, we're all... none of us are really as competent as we like to make ourselves up to be when it comes to transformations. Again, a lot of loose parts here that are popping off. Again, like, that is... I don't count that as a flaw in these things, because generally those are meant to pop off if you're pushing it the wrong way. It means I would rather it pop off than break, full honesty. And yeah, and then looking at that there, okay. So the wheels are meant to pop back over here. So I'll plop this back wheel back on. Plug the front of the car together like so. And there we have a dead end in his vehicle mode. Again, I think my big issue with this thing as I'm looking at it is just, I don't think that the back of the car pegs together quite as well as I would like. It doesn't hold quite as well as I would like. It does look very good though. It's very different than Drag Strip, completely different vehicle. And I think that's fantastic. Even looking at it from the bottom, like, very clean undercarriage. We don't get this super often in car transformers. Usually there's, visible parts and such, but no, this guy is very clean. We've got a whole bunch of 5mm pegs here. So you got different ways we can peg the guns on. Like, I'm going to peg them on like this right now. And you can see that they've also changed the front here from like a Porsche front to something that's a little less copyright infringing, but still evocative of the original Dead End. All right, so with this out of the way, I guess what you all want to see is this combined on a Minosaur then, don't you? And Minosaur, it so happens, is a figure that I've got right here. That's right, we're breaking the illusion of the light box here, just for the sake of fitting this all in. So we've got the car right here, and I have already prearranged the arm in the combination mode here. And we are going to just do this the same way that we did for drag strip. There's a bunch of pegs on the bottom. These pegs are then going to plug in like so, and just mount the car onto the side. And then this is the genius, like drag strip. There is an entire mechanism in here which only releases if a tab is pressed down by plugging this guy in here. That's right. There's a little tab in here, and once you plug that tab, this car in, that tab is depressed, and it unlocks the combination bit here. But yeah, you then just fold all this stuff down here, and, well, that is Minosaur with his other car arm. That is really all there is to it. Yeah. Not much else to show here, I suppose. It's a very simplistic transformation. Again, we're still seeing the whole thing here with these ankles not quite holding in place, which is annoying. That's really my big knock on this toy. But yeah, that is Minosaur as complete as he is going to be until Breakdown comes out with the toy line next year, at which point I will be able to properly evaluate how Minosaur is as a full-on combiner. I mean, he's looking pretty good so far, and let's be honest, as much as I think Dead End is neat, he is going to live most of his days just mounted on an arm right there. As for the second unboxing of this review, hold on to your hats because we're going to take a look at the latest release from Transart Toys. That's right, it is BWM07 Metal Jungle Metal Mouse Scout, or should I say a third-party Masterpiece scale Transmetal Rat Trap. I've been looking forward to this toy for a bit now, ever since they announced it, and it just snuck out there and snuck out. So let's take a look and see what's in the box here. All these Transart ones here, these releases are all upscales and reworks of the original Beast Wars Transmetal molds. They are all done in the Masterpiece scale. They often have modified engineering, added articulation. And looking in the box, what do we got here? We've got the toy. We've got accessories. I'll go into those in a sec. And we've actually got... Oh, this is cool. We've actually got some gloves here. They've included some gloves because of the fact that you're going to be handling chrome and going to be handling pointy bits and stuff. And we got even more accessories here. It looks like we got a stand. All right, so I'm going to put these on. All right. May as well put these on. In fact, I might actually use these for reviews. Who knows? It'll add a little bit of a, handy thing here. So we'll see how this goes, given that this is the clear intent. And let's take Rat Trap out of his box. Pulling away the sheets. And here we have Rat Trap just fresh out without anything done to it. These are going to fold up here, I believe, if it's like the original toy. And yeah, oh my god, no, this is, oof. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. It is, like, this is properly shiny. I mean, look at this thing. Let me take this glove off and put the flash on. You know what, I'm just going to do this thing without the gloves, so bear with me for a sec as I stand him up and then start taking a look. Sweet, sweet. I just found the heel spurs. So Rat Trap here. Yeah, very good feel to it. He does have a bunch of die cast in him as well. These knee pads here are die cast. I'm just trying to see where else there's die cast in him. This is unlike the original Beast Wars Transmetals. I think that might be that's the only die cast I'm feeling right now, but he does have VacMedu. Yeah, does have metal paint all over the place. Yeah, very shiny metallic finish here. like, these colors are vibrant. They are good. He has the giant back here of the rat. One thing of note here that's going to jump out right away to anyone who's messed with the original Transmetal toy is the original toy did not have show accurate kibble. In fact, the way that it worked there was the wheels were at the bottom there, whereas on the actual show model, the backpack shrunk and the wheels were at the top. Now, they can't just do the alchemy of shrinking the backpack, but what they can do is they can have the backpack rotate 180 degrees so that the wheels end up here. And in fact, these rat pieces here that are on the sides, on the original, those were the actual rat head, but on this one, they are actually smaller than the Beast Mode rat head, and they are more proportional to the actual size of the show model. Again, because they shrunk down because CGI trickery. So he's got 2 rat heads on here. Let's take a close look at this head sculpt. I mean, oh my god, this head sculpt. It just looks gorgeous. Oh. And the pièce de résistance is he has an opening mouth. And yeah, if we look in here, yeah, you can even see his teeth in there. He's got his painted teeth in there too. Like, oh my god. The only thing this guy doesn't have, as I open the mouth, it's got decent range for opening. Only thing it's missing is that it doesn't have, like, red lighting in the inside of the mouth. But, I mean, I'm not going to complain. I mean, this is a really good rat trap. Look at it. It is just, oh. But the only real thing that feels a little bit obtrusive is these bits here, and that's only because in the original transformation, they were up here and hidden by the shoulders. So, yeah, oh my god, this thing is gorgeous. Let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with for a minute here. All right, we have here, this is the Beast Mode tail here. It has, you know, decent bendability to it. Decent bendability. But then in robot mode, every so often he did have a sword. And again, because CG, yeah, it wasn't necessarily accurate. So what they've done here is, if I pop this out, yeah, this is die cast. This is die cast. They just made a straight die cast sword here that you can plug the end of the tail onto. It takes the same tail piece, and this one you can then actually have him hold as a sword. Yeah. Again, like, Transart is using some of the trickery that they're using here is to compensate for the fact that Mainframe cheated with their CG models a lot. Less so with the Transmetals, but they still cheated more than people think, even though those toys were much more show accurate. So let's get some accessories out here then. Take a look. I mean, the first thing that jumps out here, we've got the different rat tails, and oh, it is different rat tails. Interesting. He's got a much thinner one here on the final rat tail for the sword, if you notice. Like, completely different piece. This one is going to just plug onto the tail, like so. And yeah, and it's just going to swivel. Again, this is very posable here. It's probably some sort of soft thing, and there's a wire running through it, I would guess. I'm just checking. No, I think this... It doesn't really matter which way it goes on, I think. But it's on securely now, so... Yeah, but anyway, the tail is probably separate because it is like more solid plastic. And here we have the piece here that the other end of the sword plugs into. So, yeah, there we go. We have a sword here, and we can put this in Rat Trap's hand. Oh, I didn't even show off his articulation, did I? No, I didn't in my rush to show this. So let's see, we've got the full ball jointed neck here. We've got, ball joints in the shoulders. Very good range of motion up there. Bicep swivel. About 90 degrees motion here for the elbow. He's got in-out wrist. And he's got a swivel there at the wrist. Does not go up and down, so that's going to limit the sword poses here. But he also does have hands that open and shut. And if you see here, there's a little cutout here on the sword. So we should be able to use that to just latch it in, then close the hand around it, and boom, yeah, there, he's holding his sword nice and securely. Shoulder pads can rotate a little bit out of the way. Yeah, we have the spinning wheels on the back. Let's see. Waist, he does have a little bit of a waist rotation here. I think the original one did too, I can't remember, but it is limited because of just the transformation. We do have an crunch over here. Like, it's a little bit of a low ab crunch, but there is one. Again, I think that's because transformation. Swivel here above the knee. More than 90 degrees range of motion. Very good range of motion here. And ankles, we have up and down. Do we have side to side? Do we have side to side on these ankles? Just looks like it's up and down. We have a tilt and we have a tilt at the bottom here. And we have these heel spurs that can fold up and down. So really, he can hold a lot of poses. I think I get why they put the die cast just in the knees too. The die cast is just in there to counterbalance the weight that is in the backpack on this toy. I mean, I think the heel spurs are already going to do a decent job of making sure that he can stand up. Like, he doesn't have any trouble standing because, yeah, heel spurs. So you should be able to pose him fairly well. But that is a thing to keep in mind. This tail here has its own piece here. That's going to come out. That's going to plug into the beast mode, obviously. And I'm just going to take this one out here based off of some stuff I was reading. And if we take this one off, yeah, this one does not plug in here. This one doesn't. This one, oh, you can kind of use this one here if you want. But that is one of the few things I will say as a knock against Transart, that just because of the nature of these transformations, they don't really have two different configurations for these. Like, you have one for robot mode, one for beast mode, and you're just expected to put one off to the side and use the other one in the different mode. Okay, over here we have, I'm not actually sure what this is here. It looks like it's a piece that went to something else. That had something inside it. And we got a couple of these here, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure what these are offhand. I'll have to look this up. Looks like those were meant to hold something, but what else do we have for accessories? We have his rifle. Again, like the rifle Rat Trap had was just his Season 1 rifle, but they just gave it a new paint job. We've got these pieces here, which are engine pieces here for his alt mode there, just to put in for exhaust. The gun does have a fold-out handle here. And this is the weapon that he used more commonly in the show. Again, it pegs in the same way. So we can just have him with his gun. And looking to this one here, what do we have in this bag? We have a lot of stuff. I'm considering that I haven't even gotten past the accessories so far. We have stand parts. That's right, we have a bunch of stand parts here. We have... I believe that there's I believe some of these are meant for the alt mode here. Yeah, it looks like we have a stand. This can go in for up and down. And we have a couple of different... How is this supposed to go? Okay, we have a stand piece here. It looks like that this pegs in over here. And I believe that this is meant more so for the alt mode here in terms of pegging, just so you can have him like just off the ground. That's off the ground type poses. There's also this piece here too. Doesn't look like this one pegs into the stand, but I believe, again, it is meant to serve the same purpose. We also have what looks to be like a giant chunk of die cast. I'm actually not sure why there's a giant chunk of die cast in here. These pieces here that I was wondering about earlier are in fact meant for the shields, because on the show he would be able to pull off these pieces here on the sides of his wheels and use them as shields. So you just plug these in here, and then this is the same grip here that goes into all this other stuff. So you can just plug that grip into the arms here and just lock it into place. Let's see here. Yeah, it's that same grip that we saw before. Probably be easier if I just plug this in and then plug the shield in. Because, yeah, this will just line up like this over here. And then we can just close the hand up. And then just plug the shield into this piece over here. And here we go. That should be... Yeah, I guess I need to bend the wrist a little bit to get that in there. But there we go. Yeah, now that's nice and secure. He's got his shield. But there is another hidden feature that is on Rat Trap's arms as well. he does have a compartment here that pops up on this arm, and that reveals his belly bomb. That's right, he's got the little bombs that pop out from the same spot as on the show, actually. And yeah, these are just bombs. He can then, throw them use them as sabotage devices, which he did multiple times over the course of the series. So I'm just going to plug this back into the arm and restore the belly bomb. Assuming I'm doing this right. I'm just seeing, I am not doing this right because he actually has belly bombs in both that go in both arms here. So let's pull this back out and put this back in. Yeah, like so. Close this up. As we can see here, this arm also has a belly bomb on it. And I kind of like the fact that it then clips into the forearm armor there too, so that when you're pulling this out, it comes out with the forearm, as you can see. It's a neat little touch that he has these. And yeah. So with that said, I guess let's take the weapons out and let's see if we can figure out getting this guy into all mode. And I'll start first by just plugging this back on and reattaching his wheel. And with Rat Trap's transformation, I'm going to do something that's actually a little rare and unprecedented for these videos. I'm going to actually reshoot the transformation after having transformed him once. Now, if there's a reason for that, it is because, well, I was not ready for this toy. This is a figure that is a lot more complex than he initially looks. Yeah, like the original toy was a very straightforward transmetal. Very simple, but this one is doing a bunch of stuff. This entire backpack needs to flip 180 degrees for rat mode, for one. For two, it's got a whole bunch of panels networked inside here and telescoped inside here that are going to give it a clean bottom on the rat mode. And for three, we have, well, the fake rat head. This is the size of the rat head in scale, and these are the shoulder pads on the scale of the toy. Yeah, you can tell it is a completely different scale, and in order to get that actual show accuracy, it necessitated entirely new rat parts. So with that said, we are going to transform him, and now that I've done it once, I should have enough familiarity with this toy to not have to do a bajillion false starts, like I did in the last transformation video that I did there. I mean, we can already see that I'm making some false starts, but I mean, it should be a lot less false starts. Like, everything does fold up, everything goes together. Once you figure out how it all goes, it's like, oh, that's all this is? This is relatively simple. But it is considerably more involved than the original toy, all the same. Like, for instance, we have all these back panels in here telescoped. These are all going to come out. These are all going to telescope outwards. This is going to unlock over here, fold out, and then these, along with some back panels in this piece here, are going to eventually form the entire underside. Also of note here, the backpack does compress a little bit too and lock in, and we are going to pull that out as part of the process. Funnily, I think that the weirdest part to work with, and the part that's the biggest pain, just to give people some fair warning if you're getting this toy, is actually just the tightness on some of these arm joints here. Like, if you notice up here, one of these things here, this is really, like, it's really soft plastic, really flexible plastic up here. But the problem is that if you bend it, is that it's a very tight joint. So if you bend stuff the wrong way, notice that the pin is going to start to pop off. And that is, like, you can pop the pin back on. It's not going to break the plastic because it's that flexible stuff. But, I mean, it is, whenever you've got stuff like that happening, that's always is going to be a little bit of cause for concern. Like, let's be honest. Like, if you're concerned about that, yeah, I will not begrudge you that. That is very much reason to be concerned. So we're going to, I just need to make sure that I know what the configuration is for the hands, because, yeah, this needs to slide out. Yeah, like this. And we're going to slide these out over here. This back panel is going to come out. And we are going to bring these in and make the arms as flush as possible against the back side of the rat. We need to clear out plenty of room on the interior here for all of these parts here to telescope inside. And again, with telescoping, there is a whole array here of telescoping arms. This is what was throwing me off the first time, because just how many of these telescoping arms there are. And it is a little bit daunting. It's a little bit daunting, but the real trick of this is that it all comes together when you bring the legs down. Because when you bring the legs down like here, and you fold these parts up here properly. Let's just fold these parts up here. Yeah, when you fold these parts up here properly, it then becomes apparent that, oh, these little slots here on the back of the legs are going to tab into these tabs over here. And that is going to be what holds this entire assembly together. Like when you get it all underneath. And yeah, we have the rat mode. It is coming together here. There we go. There we go. Now that is folding up like this. You can see that there's plenty of room of clearance here for the arms to fold down. Now we need to get these down. And at this point, we are going to just start closing things up now. Like the original toy has an underside very much like this, a little simplified from this. But the advantage of all of these various tabs and slot, this entire bottom cover here, is that this is kind of magic here. All these hide underneath, and then you bring it around. We bring this piece down, locks in over here on this side. Yeah, this whole tab slot here locks over here, like so. Yeah, there we go. Then these slots here are going to lock in on the sides, like so. Again, this is all like a gorgeous painted silver. It looks really good here. Gorgeous painted silver. Yeah, this is gonna... Actually, it's gonna be easier if I lock this back piece in here first. Then these sides are gonna come over and they're gonna lock in over here. Funnily enough, when I actually did lock this in the first time on my other thing, I actually got the locking in a lot faster than I am now. But yeah, okay, those back ones lock in here. This one is going to lock here. And then up here, we have this piece, entire piece here locks in like that. So now we have this really clean underside that covers up all the robot kibble. It's really quite cool. Another difference here is, of course, is that the rat legs are on sliders. They were not on the original. They just folded in and out. And yeah, that means that we can do a bit more of the legs. And they've got all these joints here, as you can see. So then we close up the legs like so. Rat legs just close up. And then, yeah, then we've got the head here. And then we just bring these other rat legs down, unclip them, rearrange them. And now you can see why I refilmed this, because it took me like 20 plus minutes the first time to actually transform this guy. And now we have Transart Toys Transmetal Rat Trap in his alternate mode. But let's take a look at posability here. Unlike the original toy, his mouth opens. That is cool. He has a whole full-on opening beast mouth. And it does have some neck articulation, like just some side to side. He can look down, he can look up a bit. Like, yeah, it's very posable. Very posable. I think even the rat ears are posable too, yeah? Yeah, the rat ears do pose. You can bend them back, you can bend them forward. That is very cool. Legs here, yes, he has posable legs. It's all ball jointed. They can move up and down here. There is a cut in there so they can move up and down. And the rear legs here too are very well, like, yeah, you can... yeah, this piece here popped off. Let me peg this back in. Like, these sliders, admittedly, are a little bit loose. But again, yeah, like good range of motion in the rat legs here. And we already established the tail has decent articulation. All right, let's do his dragster mode now, the one that everyone tends to ride. And for that, we're going to need to fold these feet back up. We're going to need to store the feet away again. Again, like the feet are storing away very differently than the original toy. The original toy just had the feet fold back, whereas this one has a full-on slider mechanism here so that they can actually lock back in inside. That is cool. We have these that stick out here. These are going to lock them in for the wheel mode. And that is cool. Yeah, there's an actual like dedicated lock there so you can actually have them flat out in wheel mode here. we bring the pipes out, and then we bring these down and around and put it into, yeah, again, there's a locking slot there. And then there's a locking slot here. And yeah, these come down a bit. And yeah, there we have Rat Trap in his dragster mode. This does roll pretty well. I mean, it should anyway, in theory. Everything looks pretty straight. Yeah, everything looks pretty straight. But yeah, you can see here, yeah, dragster mode. Like, this is the transmetal third mode, really. It's what you get with these things. That's just the way they go. And do we have any bonuses here in terms of stuff? Yes, we do, because there were those effects parts over here. These effects parts can plug into the exhaust, and it should just slot into the sides like so. There we go. Yeah, so now we have the exhaust for the Rat Dragster mode. And yeah, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. And yeah, and you can have Masterpiece guys ride him. I've seen photos of people doing the awkward Dinobot riding this guy thing. So with that said, that is Rat Trap, Transart Toys Rat Trap in his alternate mode. And I guess next up will come final thoughts. So final thoughts time. Well, Dead End is yet another Stunticon in the group of Stunticons. You'll want him if you want Menasor, and he'll probably live in car mode. So to an extent, Robo mode doesn't matter a huge amount. But I mean, it's a pretty serviceable, pretty solid Robo mode with a really good face. But for Rat Trap, on the other hand, well, Rat Trap, if you're a Beast Wars fan, if you're a fan of the Transmetal designs, this is a Masterpiece scale Transmetal that'll fit in with that MP Beast Wars shelf. He is, with that in mind, kind of a bit of a must if you're a big Beasties guy like I am. Like, I will warn you, though, if you do get Rat Trap, he is deceptively complex, much more complex than the original toy was. And Transart did a lot of reworking in order to get him that clean underside and that reversed, the reduced shoulder pads and the reversed backpack. He is pretty amazing, quite honestly. And yeah, I am really looking forward to when I get my hands on their Megatron. So with that said, this is General Techno signing off. Until the next toy review video.